Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Know Thy User. Know Thy User is a podcast by Rival Mind where we talk about all things digital marketing. And today we're going to be talking about common tools used for keyword research. So it wasn't that long ago that I was talking to my sister who runs a nonprofit, and she said, hey, all of your cool tools are well and good, but they're expensive. And we run a nonprofit. I know there's other people out there who don't want to spend the money on expensive tools. So can you talk about that in your podcast? So for those of you who are listening, those of you who are watching, we're going to walk through 4 different tools. 2 of them are free. 2 of them are paid. There's lots of tools out there, but we're going to just hit 4 today. So Andrew Moment, you're our specialist strategist here at Rival Mind with keyword research. Why don't you start by talking about Google Suggest? That's the freest tool there is out there. That's what I love about it the most, and it gives you a lot of good data just from doing a quick search.
And Google Suggest, if you're wondering what that is, you've used it probably every day. You just don't notice what we're talking about or paid attention to it. So what we're going to show you is the free and easiest way to start with keywords. And ultimately what we're doing today, tools that help you find what users are searching for related to a certain product or service. So here on Google, I've got a Google result search bar, which this everybody uses. If I were to, let's just use an example of custom-made pulleys. When you reference Google Suggest, we're just looking at what does Google think I'm looking for.
Right.
So these 4 phrases right here are an example of custom-made crank pulleys, custom-made alternator pulleys. Now,
so Google is basically in its algorithm taking all of the different searches that are about pulleys and pulling together what it thinks that you're trying to look for. And in doing that, this is what Google Suggest comes up with that you could potentially rank for if you optimize your site. And
I chose a little bit more of a niche one versus a broad one to show the example that Google has keyword suggestions for just about everything. I could have done something. We've done some fun keyword research over the years for escape rooms, indoor dog water parks. We've done some fun keyword research, and we could type those in here and we'd see a ton of results. But you type in something a little bit more specific, like about custom-made pulleys, there's still results and people are still looking for it.
I had to find keywords to use for foam bricks. I had to find one of the hardest was dustless tile removal in Florida.
That's interesting. I remember that
because I thought, can you really have dustless tile removal? The answer is actually not totally dustless. But anyway, that's for another podcast.
The search phrases on that one were fun. I remember.
So Andrew, hit the enter key so that we can see some results really quick. I want to show you one thing. Roll down to the bottom. Very similar to Google Suggest are other related searches that you can also use as keyword phrases to potentially go after, to write content for, to try to rank for those. So there's another freebie for you. So
that's great.
Beyond Google Suggest, which is for my sister, first place to go. Number 2, I would say, is Google Ads. You can have a Google Ads account, not spend a dime, but still use their keyword suggestion tool for search engine optimization. So why don't we talk about that?
It's the greatest single tool for getting people to spend money. Is a free keyword tool, ultimately with the goal of getting you to spend money on Google Ads. Over 90% of Google's revenue comes from ads, actually. So it's genius that this is free. But if you know that you don't have to spend money, I would highly recommend this tool. It's one of my favorites. So here what I've got is a back end of a Google Ads account, which, as you mentioned, is free. All you need is an email. I put in a couple keyword suggestions here: auto lift parts, hydraulic lift parts, and I'm going to click get results and see what Google Ads keyword planner gives me. So it's going to give me data on the 4 keywords we're looking at, but it's also going to give me tons of keyword ideas, which, as you can see, the checkboxes here do allow me to start spending money. I could have a paid account going within 15 minutes probably, but you don't necessarily need to do that. You can just look for keyword ideas here. So that's what I like using it for. And it's based on data from billions of dollars spent on ads campaigns around the world.
It'll give you competitor data in a sense, because the more something costs, the broader the term, for instance, you're getting information from that. This is an expensive keyword, so it's obviously also has a high competition. It may have high volume. You can see what the volume is there. So all that data is at your fingertips, and you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's all free, and it gives you some great insight into what people are searching for that you didn't think about.
Okay, so we've talked about actually three kind of different platforms that you could use to find some keywords for your website. But now let's take a step further. I've decided, I've budgeted for this. I want to spend a little bit of money. The next platform that I think we should talk about is Moz. They are, I believe, $79 a month if you pay for a year. That's a little bit more than that if you pay month to month. But they offer some fantastic tools, certainly keyword research tools. Let's dive into Moz and show us a few things there.
Yeah, so Moz is one of my favorites. It's near and dear because it's where I got my start in SEO using Moz, and a lot of people, Moz has been an industry standard for years based on their data.
One of the things I'll say about Moz that I love is their GUI interface. I love how easy it is, the colors, the reporting looks fantastic. So I'm with you on that.
It's beautiful to look at, and what you'll see here that I'm gonna pull up on my screen, you'll see how easy it actually is to use. Right here, what I can do is I can put in different websites. And from here, I can run a report, which all I've done so far is just already click to compare. And I can scroll down here, and one of Matt, your favorite charts is this Venn diagram.
Yeah, love it.
Go ahead.
Well, this one's kind of funny because there's only two little circles right there. But if you have more competitors, it actually will show you the overlap of what other companies are ranking for that you're ranking for, and you can click in that overlap and see the overlapped keywords. You can also see what keywords they're ranking for that you're not ranking for. So that's what I love about it. It's a very graphical way to get an instant snapshot of, oh my gosh. I mean, even this diagram with two companies. This yellow circle is giant. They're ranking for a ton of stuff that the blue circle is not ranking for. There's a little bit of overlap in there. So it's very useful in that way. But
I knew you'd get excited because you love this chart, and I love it too because it shows opportunity. And if I scroll down here, what it does is this. That was just a visual representation, but it shows what keywords are ranking well. And I say ranking well, they're the first result on Google compared to 51 plus, which that's likely 5th page and beyond. So I can see here that this yellow tab, the second column over, they've got all these number one rankings, and this other site has 51 plus. So Moz is a step up from the free versions because now we're not just looking for keywords we think are good. We're actually going to, what's a cool website? Not necessarily cool, but a website that's doing well. And what are they ranking for? And let's use them. Why reinvent the wheel and try to do something very difficult when we can find keywords that people are ranking for? Now, might not be easy to rank for it, but finding those keywords is pretty fun here because we can actually see, hey, my competitor's ranking for these keywords. We're going to target them, ultimately hoping not rank them.
Yeah, and you can even find the exact pages that the competitor is ranking with and go deconstruct why is it that they're ranking for this particular keyword, and how can I emulate that and even do better? And this tool will help you do that. The other tool that is magnificent at helping you with that very thing is Semrush. Some people call it SEMrush. Most people call it Semrush. But Semrush is another paid tool. It's, I believe, $99 a month if you pay for a year at a time. By the way, we're not asked or paid to endorse anybody. I just thought it would be useful for you to know what the cost was to use these tools. But what makes Semrush different from, say, Moz, or can you walk through their tool?
Yeah, Semrush is what I currently use a lot for kind of to bring it all together for keyword research. So what I've got here is I put in a pretty general keyword, commercial insurance, which is very general, and I've sorted it by questions. So I can look at what questions are users typing in related to commercial insurance, ultimately with the goal of creating content around what are people asking. Because generally when someone's asking a question on Google, they're researching, they're looking for a service, potentially a product. So Semrush, compared to the other tools, has a really robust set of data. They've got pay-per-click data. They've even got some social media data. It has a lot of trending data, has keyword difficulty data that some of the other ones have, but Semrush pulls it together as well. But as you can see from the two different ones, it's not as pretty looking as Moz. So the data is good. It's a little bit more, I would say, advanced, and that's probably why we saved it for last, thinking about it, the logical order we went through here. But Moz and Semrush are the industry leaders. They both work really well and both do different things really well.
And there are other tools that
Yeah.
you can use. Majestic comes to mind. Ahrefs certainly comes to mind. They have a huge backlink database. So there's a lot of tools out there. And here we use all kinds of different tools. But if you were thinking about purchasing or a monthly purchase of one, Semrush or Moz for sure. So Andrew, thank you for your time and giving us a little bit of insight into that. We're going to dive deeper into some of these tools at a later podcast, so stay tuned for that. But I hope this was helpful. And if you're in your car, you may want to come back and revisit the video version so that you can see what we actually walked through here. But we appreciate you joining us, and until next time, thanks for joining us.